be beaming, I be booming down that block. Everywhere you go, you know they know I'm hot.
What's up? What's going on, my good people? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you all are doing well. If this is your first time here, I want to welcome you. Pull up a seat. Hope you enjoyed the content. And before we get into this video, I want to ask that you like, comment, share, subscribe, and go ahead and tap that bell while you're at it so you're notified anytime I drop a brand new video, go live, or schedule a premiere. All right, y'all. So I am back with another story time. And this is something that actually happened to me. So it's not a fiction story. This is based on something that happened to me when I was in my 20s. And I am really surprised I haven't told y'all this story. But honestly, somebody said something and it took me right back to this moment. And I haven't thought about it since it happened. Okay, so I'm going to tell you guys about some of the worst advice I have ever received. So before we get started, I want to give a big shout out to the members. I gave them 3 options and this one got the most votes. So I'm doing this story time because of the members. And I want to give a big shout out to everybody that joined me in the comments and showed me some love on the post. I'm going to shout you guys out by your name. I want to give a shout out to Nisha, Emerald, Destiny, Jennifer F, Lorraine, Elise, Truly Yours, Purple Haze, Jennifer B, Mariah, Tamika, Jamie, Miss Brandy, Reese, Pepper Ann, and Mariella. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate y'all for showing me so much love and support. If you want to join the membership, the link is below. All right, let's go ahead and jump into this story time. Oh yeah, and one final thing. So today is Friday, so that means it is family night. I will be going live here on YouTube at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Central Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, all right? So we're doing game night tonight. I'm doing an R&B trivia. It's called R&B 3. We played it before. We had a blast, so doing that. But I'm also doing a giveaway. So it is cold. It is hoodie season, so I'm giving away a hoodie from my merchandise, all right? So give yourself a chance to win, and also just come have a good time, all right? So see y'all tonight. All right, now for real, let's go ahead and get into story time. All right, y'all. So this story time takes place in like 2004, 2005. So that means I was around 23 or 24 years old. And at the time, I was working in a call center at a mortgage company. I was doing collections. So we did some customer service, but it was like mainly collections. And, you know, collections was not my thing. But this company was booming at the time and the pay was great. So, you know, I saw a lot of opportunity. So I saw myself, you know, I'm like, let me go to this company, give it a try and see what I could do. You know what I mean? And at the time, I was living with my girlfriend and her best friend. And this is what's so funny is that I actually met my girlfriend at this mortgage company. We met at the mortgage company. We started dating. Then we ended up in a relationship eventually. So anyways, I'm at this company and it's massive. You know, I've worked in a call center before, but I've never been in one this big. So it's hundreds of employees, maybe even thousands, you know, because it had different shifts. So people were coming and going all the time, right? And, you know, this was a good company. It was a really good booming company, well known. I think at one point they sponsored the halftime show at the Super Bowl. Like it was just really big and booming. And again, I saw a lot of opportunity, right? So, you know, I'm at the company and, you know, figuring things out, you know, going through training, you know, doing side-by-sides. You know, I get assigned to a team and then I go to another team. And someone say around this point, I've probably been at the company about maybe 6 or 7 months. So I've been there 6 or 7 months. I'm in my rhythm. You know, I feel very comfortable doing collections at this point. And, you know, also, which was a huge motivation and incentive was that if we hit certain goals, you know what I'm saying? Like we would, you know, get this massive bonus. Okay. I mean, it was such a huge opportunity to make a lot of money. Right. So of course we all were motivated and a lot of it was a good mix of people. There were young, there were middle-aged people, there were older people. You know, I thought it was a really good balance and a very diverse group of people that I worked with. Right. So, you know, back at home, you know, with my girlfriend and her best friend, you know, our apartment was the spot. Like it was the spot. It was, you know what I'm saying? Like people would come through and hang out pretty often. You know, we would go out a lot. You know, like I said, we were young in our 20s. So that's what it was about. Everybody was pretty responsible. You know, we would go to work and come home and then figure out what we were going to do. You know, I know we used to go out on Wednesday nights, Thursday nights, go out on the weekend. It was just all about a good time. So with this also means we had really bad habits. You know what I'm saying? I think this was around the time I got introduced to Moscato, y'all. I never thought I would drink wine, but then when I taste some Moscato, I loved it. So I used to drink Moscato. We used to drink vodka. I remember there were even times when we would go, you know, grocery shopping. Of course, we alternated going grocery shopping, but we would go grocery shopping and spend a bunch of money at Costco on, you know, snacks, chips, you know, huge bottles of vodka. And, you know, we weren't getting the things that were important. You know, we wouldn't have enough meat, enough fish. We wouldn't have enough vegetables. Like we didn't know anything about like picking up the right things. So we were just young and just ready to have a good time. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and these nights when we would go out, we would get home late, so we used to eat late at night. We used to go to this taco spot, be eating tacos 3, 4 in the morning. And I'm saying all this to say is that in these bad habits, you know what I'm saying, you pick up weight. You pick up weight. You feel very lazy because of the things that you're doing. You know what I'm saying? And of course, your energy is a lot different in your 20s. But we were definitely picking up weight. I was, let me speak for myself. I'm not speaking for nobody else. Picking up weight, fluctuating with my weight. And then, of course, when I'm working this job in a call center, I'm sitting down a lot, right? So I'm picking up this different weight and stuff, right? And, you know, I'm just kind of like, you also just kind of get caught up in just going through the motions and getting used to your life and what you're doing, right? So there was this girl, let's call her Alicia. So there was this girl named Alicia that worked, you know, she wasn't on my team, but she like worked right across from me. So I would see her. And, you know, every time I would see Alicia coming in the morning, she always had, you know, like one of them little shaker bottles. She was always shaking up her bottle, you know, taking her protein shake and all this stuff or whatever. And she was very committed to that. Now, she wasn't always like that. This was like a brand new thing that she was doing. But I would just see what she was doing, you know what I'm saying? And you could tell that she had just came from the gym because she was always talking about it. Or she just looked flushed, you know what I'm saying? She looked like she just got done doing something very intense, right? So she looked like she just got done working out. So, you know, she started this new routine, bringing in her protein shakes. We'll be talking about her workouts, talking about she was with a trainer, right? So like a month and a half goes by, and no kidding you, Alicia probably done lost about, I don't know, at least 20 pounds, but maybe even 30. That's just my assumption. It was obvious that she had lost a lot of weight, you know what I'm saying? And not that I said anything to her, but it was just very, very noticeable, you know what I'm saying? So I remember one day I'm in the break room and I hear her talking, and she's telling somebody about these diet pills that she was taking. You know, she was like, yeah, I've changed my eating habits a little bit. You know, I take my protein shakes, you know, I work out in the morning and stuff like that, you know, but these diet pills really help me, you know what I'm saying? So it also allows me to like I don't have to really scale back on my food like that. You know what I mean? Like if I eat one balanced meal, it's also okay for me to eat a really unhealthy meal for dinner. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't have to give up everything. I kind of get the best of both worlds. So I'm listening to her talking. And then she was like, Rhonda, like, are you interested? And I was like, I mean, this sounds appealing to me. You know, like I said, with these bad habits that I had, I'm like, yeah, I could stand to probably drop about 20, 30 pounds as well, right? So I sit down and she's telling me about it. She tells me that she got these pills, you know, from GNC. This is the name of it and all this stuff, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm all excited. I'm hyped. This sounds like a very quick fix. And she was like, this is all you got to do. She was like, I mean, and even if you can't go to the gym, like just go walking on your lunch break, drink a lot of water. And like I said, at least eat one healthy meal. And then, you know, take this pill and you can eat whatever else you want. So I'm like, okay, word. Like, if it's going to give me the results that you got, I'm down to do it, right? So I go to GNC this same day, right after work. I was so excited, right? So I go to GNC and it was right by our job. So I go to GNC. You know, I can't find the pills myself. I remember I got help and the guy, you know, comes over, helps me, and I get the last one. So I'm like, damn, these pills are really popular. So I'm glad that I got a chance to get my hands on them, right? Because I didn't want to just drive around to all these GNCs and all that stuff to try to find it or whatever, right? So I get the pills. I go home, you know, I read the back of it. It tells me to take, you know, I think it was like a pill a day or whatever, you know, make sure you eat it with a meal, that kind of thing. And I was like, word. So I started the very next day. So first day I take it. Second day I take the pills. Third day I take it. You know, I'm still, you know, everything is cool. You know, I told Alicia that I, you know, brought the pills, and she's like, I'm so excited for you. You know, have you started working out? I was like, well, I haven't made it to the gym yet, but I have incorporated, you know, starting to walk on my break. She was like, okay, that's a good start. You know, try to pick it up as much as you can. So I'm like, all right, cool, I will. You know, so I felt very motivated, right? Now, also in all of this, you know, it's only been 3 days, but I'm still, you know, in my same set ways. You know what I'm saying? It's not like partying and everything is off the table. It's not like I'm getting more sleep. It's not like I stopped drinking. In my mind, I'm like, okay, all I got to do is have one healthy meal, and then I can keep on doing everything else that I've been doing. And this is going to work out. That's the advice that she said. You know, what worked for her, I'm like, cool, that's going to work for me. So I would bring my healthy meal with me, you know, to work, you know, whether it was a salad or like I would have grilled chicken and maybe some veggies or something like that. I tried to have a pretty balanced meal, but then I would let myself do whatever I wanted after that. You know what I mean? So, you know, 4th day goes on, 1st week goes by. Now it's like a week and a half since I first started taking these pills, right? So I go, you know, go to work, and I think I took the pill this particular day, maybe on my lunch break, you know, with my lunch. And, you know, I go for a walk on my 15-minute break. And I get home, I get home, my girlfriend gets home, her best friend gets home, we hanging out, chilling in the living room like we always do. Everything going as normal. We all have dinner together, we laugh, we sit around, whatever. Nobody's really over, because like I said, our place was the spot, but nobody is really over this night. It's just us three. So that night, I go to bed or whatever, and as I'm getting ready to lay down, my breathing feels a little bit off. Like it kind of just feels like, I don't know, like it kind of feels like short a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't say anything to my girlfriend, and I didn't make a big deal about it, because I was kind of thinking in my mind, like, well, when I was a kid, I had asthma, and that's kind of what it felt like a little bit. Like I kind of felt like just shortness of breath. Like I was not necessarily having an asthma attack. I just felt like I couldn't breathe like that. You know what I'm saying? Like it just kind of felt like kind of short, like shortness of breath a little bit, right? But it kind of reminded me of asthma, and I was kind of thinking like, damn, is my asthma coming back? That's what I was thinking. So I tried to be mindful of it. I was breathing, but my breathing had definitely changed, right? So I lay down in the bed, whatever, and I kind of have a hard time going to sleep because of this, because I'm kind of thinking, I'm freaking out, but I'm trying not to freak out. But I am, because it's my breathing, right? And I'm in bed, and, I'm kind of tossing and turning. My girlfriend is like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. So she doesn't notice that my breathing is a little bit off, and I don't say anything because I don't want to worry her, right? So I eventually doze off. I'm able to go to sleep, and I'm going to say I'm asleep for about 2 or 3 hours. And then all of a sudden, I just jump up out of my sleep. I jump up out of my sleep because my heart is racing. And not only is it racing and beating really fast, it just feels like it's beating really loud. Like I feel like my girlfriend can hear it. You know what I'm saying? So it just feels different. So I jump up out of the bed. I'm drenched in sweat. She jumps up because the bed is wet. I mean, the entire bed is wet. Like I'm soaking wet. And then she's freaking out, and I'm telling her that my heart is racing. That's why I jumped up. And then I also share with her about my breathing. And at this time, my breathing had not improved. It's about the same. Like it just feels off, right? So she's like, Rhonda, we got to go to emergency. We have to. And so I'm like, I don't want to go, but I know I have to go. I'm thinking about my parents. Like I don't want to freak them out or whatever. So, I get dressed. Well, she helps me get dressed because my energy, I had damn near no energy. She helps me get dressed, get my clothes on. She gets dressed, and we go to the doctor's office. Now, if we go to emergency. Now, emergency is packed, okay? It's people everywhere. And I'm like, damn. So, of course, when I got checked in, telling them why I'm there, because I was having issues with my breathing and also with my heart. Well, my heart was racing, I should say. They prioritized me and got me back there immediately. So got my vitals. I get into a room, and the doctor comes in, and he's just, checking my heart. He's checking my breathing. He's checking my stomach, like all these things. And he's asking me questions. He's like, I'm gonna get some additional tests ran, but has anything changed in your life? And so I'm like, no. I'm a pretty healthy person. And, I usually get checked out pretty often. I haven't had any major surgeries, like nothing like that or whatever. He's like, are you sure nothing has changed recently? It slipped my mind completely about the diet pills, y'all. So eventually I remember about the diet pills, and I tell him, I'm like, I've been taking these diet pills for like a week and a half. So he's asking me like, the name of the diet pills, do I recall any of the ingredients? And I'm like, no, like, I don't know. I don't remember any of that. I barely even remember the name of it. And so, he runs the test and everything, I get blood work and everything, all that stuff, x-rays, everything comes back fine. So the doctor concludes that it was the diet pills that, caused all of this, the sweating, the breathing, the issue I was having with my heart racing. He was like, that has to be the issue. Everything looks fine. Everything checks out fine, in terms of all of your vitals, your testing, everything is good. So, he was like, I've never heard of this particular diet pill, but there are several diet pills on the market, you know what I'm saying, that if you take the pills long enough, you could potentially develop a heart condition or whatever. So I'm like, what? He was like, yes. He was like, so whatever you do, please stop taking those pills. Like, you can work on your diet and exercise on your own. You do not need diet pills. Like, it is not, please. He was just like pleading with me, like, please. He was like, so many people, have been coming in, over the last couple of months, were just taking different type of diet pills. So he was like, please stop taking them or whatever. So by the time we made it home from emergency, it's like 10 in the morning, 10, 11 o'clock. And my shift at work started at 9 o'clock. So my girlfriend had to call in sick on my behalf while I was while I was back there, talking to the doctor or whatever. So she called in sick on my behalf. I get home. I immediately dump out the diet pills. And for the most part of the day, I'm just sitting there thinking like, damn, like, what if? Like, what if that could have been me? What if this thing caused me to have a fucking heart condition? Like, that could have been me. And I'm so glad that it wasn't. And, I'll say this too, is that, when Alicia told me about the diet pills, this is what, 2005? This wasn't the era of like running to Google and researching. It wasn't like that. It really wasn't. It was kind of a word of mouth kind of world at the time, still recommendations. And, you know, I guess you doing your research as best as you could, but this wasn't that kind of world. You know what I'm saying? Because like present day, has somebody told me about any kind of pill or anything for that matter, I would do my research and then decide what I want to do at that point, right? But it wasn't like that. So she told me about it. I saw her results and I just started taking it, you know, which was a horrible idea. So anyways, when I finally go back to work, you know, I take this particular day off. I go back to work the following day. Alicia's not there, you know, and I'm looking for her because I want to tell her about my experience. I want her to stop taking the diet pills. I want her to tell everybody that she knows to stop taking them. And like she talked about them all the time. So I have no idea who else might be taking them at the call center, right? So come to find out, Alicia's on the leave of absence, right? So I'm like, damn, I couldn't get in touch with her. So like 2 weeks go by and I'm in the break room and somebody else that Alicia told about the diet pills is, you know, talking about her experience, right? So I'm like, damn, for real? So she's, you know, telling me everything that happened to her. Like, she wasn't having a bad experience, but I told her what happened to me, you know, and I wanted to give her a heads up of what the doctor explained about, you know, certain diet pills. Like, if you take them long enough, you could develop a heart condition, maybe even amongst other things as well. So she's like, what? So we just going back and forth, you know, talking about it or whatever. And as we're talking, this girl is walking by. Her name is Zoe. So Zoe and Alicia were pretty close. I wouldn't call them best friends, but they were pretty close. So she comes over and she asked, can she talk to me outside? And I was like, yeah. So me and Zoe, we leave out of the break room. We go into the hallway and we are by ourselves. Nobody is around. But like Zoe is looking around like she looked paranoid. So I'm like, why are you looking around? She was like, because of what I'm about to tell you. I'm like, what you about to tell me? So she goes, I mean, I don't know how to tell you this, but you know, Alicia was not taking diet pills. And I'm like, what? She was like, nah, she on that stuff. And I'm like, that stuff? So y'all, she was snorting and that was causing her appetite to be suppressed. So yes, she was working out. Yes, she was eating different, but her appetite had just changed significantly because of that stuff. So I'm like, what? And she was like, yeah, somebody in her family, you know, started this, you know, helped start this company, helped start these diet pills. So whenever she gets a chance to tell somebody about it, she does. But she was like, she wasn't actually taking them herself. So y'all, I'm like, what? I'm like, this girl is out here telling people to take these pills. She's not taking them and she on that stuff. So I'm like, okay, damn. And I'm not judging her at all, but I'm just saying like all of this is just mind blowing because of my experience and like going to the emergency thinking I'm about to die. I'm like, yo. So maybe like a month later, Alicia comes back from her leave of absence and, you know, I have a conversation with her. And she's really apologetic. She's like, I'm really sorry that you had that kind of experience. And, you know, I'm sorry that I misled you, you know, to believe that those diet pills were going to work. I hate that that happened to you or whatever. And of course, I didn't say nothing about, you know, her being on that stuff because that wouldn't have been cool or whatever. But yeah, y'all, that is my experience. It's some of the worst advice that I've ever been given. And, you know, more importantly than anything, you know, diet and exercise is, you know, is the way to go. That is the best way for you to get results in terms of improving your health. And, you know, if somebody does suggest any kind of supplement to you, anything at all, be it a protein shake, be it a pill, be it whatever, please make sure you do your research. You know, we definitely live in a kind of world now where we have that kind of access to, you know, do our research, you know, see different things that come up about the product and then go ahead and make your final decision and see if that thing is going to work for you. You know, definitely don't ever jump into anything when it comes to your health. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, some things just don't work the same for all of us. You know what I'm saying? Some of us have existing health conditions, you know what I mean? And then and certain things may make those health conditions worse. So please make sure you do your research on anything, y'all. Please, please, please. So that is it, y'all. That is the story time. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. And I will meet y'all in the comments. And I also hope to see some of y'all tonight for family night. All right, so have a good weekend. Be safe, y'all. Thank you so much for watching. Make the best of the day. Be good to yourself. Peace.
I be beaming, I be booming down that block. Everywhere you